Okay, is he the one of the band Danzig?
He is. Welcome to Dastardly Hamster, where we try to convert each other to our favorite bands. Today, I'm going to be showing Mika the Misfits. If Mika likes this song, then I get to show her a second song by this artist. I'm not really sure how she's going to react to it. Misfits is definitely one of those bands that is offensive for the sake of being offensive. This is why it was so hard to choose the first song for you, because the songs that I like the most are actually the most offensive songs. And it's not because they're offensive, it's just because they have a sound that I like. The other thing that was hard in determining what to show you is that Misfits has what I would call different eras to it, or they're one of the most early punk bands. They've been around since 1977. They're actually still going today. But a lot of people consider Misfits have different eras because they have different lead singers. Now, the lead singer that I thought you would probably like the most is Glenn Danzig. He's the one that a lot of Misfits fans like the most.
Okay, is he the one of the band Danzig?
He is.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you if you knew of the band Danzig.
I know Mother, and
Okay.
I feel like I know at least one other song.
Okay, we're not starting from scratch here. Danzig's era is my favorite era. I also think he deserves credit for sort of starting the horror punk genre, or if not starting it, at least popularizing it. I don't know sort of what came before him. And horror punk it's almost this like obsession with like death and like Halloween and like the supernatural. It's almost written from the perspective of like a monster or a serial killer or something, right? It's not something that's deep. For anybody in the comments who is always like, I wish he would stop lip syncing, don't worry, I'm not going to lip sync to the Misfits. Because the content is not something I want to be associated with my lip movements. I'll put it that way.
That's fair. Weirdly, Misfits is one of those bands that, like, I've seen the t-shirts, I've seen the posters my entire life. I know that they're out there somehow. I don't know if I know any of the songs. Maybe I know like one or two, maybe it played in a movie or something like that.
Right.
But somehow I don't actually think that I've heard any Misfits. I'm like super surprised to find out that the guy from Danzig was in it, because
well, not just in it, he's the one who started it.
Okay, yeah. See, that's mind-blowing to me. This, I'm assuming, maybe something like the one or two Danzig songs that I know, but maybe less singy, more yelly, perhaps.
I guess we'll see.
I'm also wondering if I ever heard any songs when I was watching the TV show Misfits from 2009.
Oh, you actually just remind me of another little nugget of info about the Misfits. Is they got their band's name from Marilyn Monroe's final movie, which was called The Misfits.
Fascinating, because right after this, you're going to be hearing some Marilyn Manson, who is also into putting horror clips into his music.
So this is a song about when Danzig was in the UK and he got arrested. He got into a fight with skinheads, is what I read. Apparently there was glass involved. So I don't know the full details of it, but I do know they threw him in jail for it, and this is just his reflection of being locked up.
There's a song that like every kid learns. I'm assuming also in France, but definitely in Quebec, which is about a prisoner in the Tower of London. Dans la prison de Londres. I don't think it's going to sound anything like that. Probably. Very old French song. Okay, what's funny, I like what I'm hearing so far. What's funny is that one of the songs that I considered playing for you by Marilyn Manson sounds so similar at the beginning.
Oh, does it?
So similar.
Well, maybe Marilyn Manson was inspired by the Misfits. There's a lot of different bands that were.
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen the Misfits t-shirt enough to know that almost definitely. Right.
Unholy living dead. They had a like us
Okay, are you sure this isn't The Doors?
Why does it sound like that?
Oh my gosh. I if you just played this for me, I would think that it was like a remix
Oh, really?
of like Jim Morrison, the singer of The Doors, remixed with like I don't know, Marilyn Manson or something.
Oh, that's funny.
With the guitar is not Marilyn Manson, but to me it sounds like a fusion, but it must be the original, and a bunch of other people took little parts of it and did their own thing with that. The opposite of fusion, it's a pre defusion.
Okay. Well, what's interesting is right now he's using his soft voice. You haven't heard his yelling voice.
To me, sounds so much more like Jim Morrison than Danzig.
That's funny.
I like how it's doing this like dip. It's not exactly quite what I expect, and it keeps going down, and I find that really interesting. I love this. I really love this creepiness. It's giving me a little bit of a Queens of the Stone Age vibe on the guitar and the drums.
Okay.
A little bit.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, to me it sounds like a little bit of like Queens of the Stone Age mixed with Jim Morrison. I like this. I like the peppiness, sort of jumpy staccato feel mixed with that sort of creepiness. I like these notes that are going longer than I expect them to be, and I like when it's taking these like dips. Yeah, it's a really interesting mix of sounds that I wasn't expecting and that I want to hear more of.
Okay.
That part where he goes like, oh, I expect it to go into something that I don't like, but it becomes creepy, and I like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you'll also notice that he started to scream in that last part. It wasn't a full scream, but it was like he wasn't doing the soft vocals anymore.
I like that. I found it really interesting. I feel the originality coming out of it, although to me feels clearly inspired by the Doors, which is great. The Doors is exactly the type of band that would inspire these types of people. There was a lot of sounds that I didn't expect, a lot of directions that I didn't expect them to go into. Yeah, there were a couple of times where I thought that it was going to become happy notes that I don't like, but it became creepy notes that I do like. To me, the vocals, like the more I listened to them, the more I started to hear Danzig, but it really sounds like he's doing a Jim Morrison impression before he got into his own sound. I'm going to rate this A 4 out of 5 ham stars. I would have taken a bit more vocal intensity, but
Mm-hmm.
not every song needs to be that. So I will take it for what it is. Really didn't understand. I think I heard the words London Dungeon one time. I did not
Right.
hear or understand a single other word in there.
So this is one of those songs that I actually was hoping you were gonna like it more than I would. So
Okay.
because this isn't actually my favorite of the Misfits, I would give this a 3 out of 5 ham stars because I tend to like their stuff that's a little bit faster, where he's yelling a little bit more. This is kind of slow compared to their other stuff, but I thought that because you're into metal and because it's like it's pretty creepy as you said, I thought that you'd be into it. And
Yeah,
I was right. So
good choice.
I think I chose right here. So sometimes I go against my own favorites and I try to choose what I think you're gonna like.
I love hearing guitar players, and their arms do like that circular, like, I love hearing the sound that I associate with that movement.
Okay, and you heard that here.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly, I should not quit my day job to become a full time sound imitator. Well, that's it for us, ham stars. Spin your wheels down to that subscribe button.
And give us a dastardly thumbs up. One thing I should say about the Misfits is this is kind of pointless info, but sort of relevant. They sort of either invented or made popular the devil lock hairstyle. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what that is.
I mean, maybe I'll know it by sight, but I don't know the name.
The devil lock is kind of like imagine it just goes down like this, like in a point.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen that before in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wasn't that more like a flock of seagulls thing?
He's almost got it, but then he's got his like hair up like this too.
There were a lot of weird things happening in the 80s.